What is up, crypto community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. Really quick, on my last video, someone in the comments said, "You're not talking about XRP, you just cover Bitcoin." Well, I would hope that anyone that holds XRP and is long on XRP would want to care about relevant market news, because if Bitcoin flash crashes 10%, you best believe your XRP bags are crashing 15, 20%. So I just wanted to address that real first. A lot of stuff is going on, guys. So about, I don't know, 8 to 12 months ago, I never heard of China Evergrande, but it's one of the largest real estate companies in China. And now I'm starting to see this FUD resurface as their stock has been suspended from trading after plunging 20%. Now, a 20% plunge in the stock market is absolutely massive. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the Great Depression was only a 30% correction. So a 20% correction for any stock is absolutely crazy. And this is prompted by a Hong Kong court order for liquidation of the property giant. So I can't act like I'm a macroeconomic expert, and I don't know the broader implications of this on the market, but it's something that I'm going to be covering going forward this week. And this is bullish for the crypto market. 1 trillion, billion, 1 billion USD Tether minted at the Tether Treasury. And an interesting chart, if you guys have never seen it, Google the market capitalization of USDT and overlay that with the price of Bitcoin, and they are totally correlated. There's a lot of Twitter sleuths and blockchain experts that say a lot of bad things about the company behind Tether, and rightfully so. There is a lot of shady activity. They basically have printed $80 billion out of thin air, and all of their banks are in the shady British Virgin Islands. And essentially, people speculate that organizations like FTX and other big market makers get this minted Tether, and this is what's propping up the price of Bitcoin. And as you can see from the Bitcoin chart, if we go to the 4-hour here, ever since Tether started printing, we've seen a little bit of a bounce on the price. And it makes sense, because when this Tether is printed, it has to go somewhere. Kind of like when they print fiat money, when they print dollars. That's why the stock market had a crazy rally after COVID-19, the thing I can't say on YouTube, because in 2020 alone, they printed more money than the first 100 years, the previous century combined. From 1920 to 2020, yeah, they did that in 2020. And all because of an emergency, right? Allegedly. But when they print that money, it has to go somewhere. That's why it helped the stock market. And every time we see a big Tether mint, typically helps the price of crypto assets. And BlackRock now holds 52,025 Bitcoins, valued at over 2.18 billion within their Bitcoin exchange traded ETF fund. And we're not seeing a lot of these effects yet, because a lot of Bitcoin is being sold off from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And Grayscale they held at the top 26 billion, so 10 times this amount of Bitcoin. Since the Grayscale Bitcoin has been redeemable, which was 2 weeks ago, they have since offloaded about 4 to 5 billion Bitcoin. But we're going to see the effects of these Bitcoin ETFs over the course of this year as the Grayscale Bitcoin dumping slows down. They're not going to dump all their Bitcoins, but they probably will dump some more. These Bitcoin ETFs are going to absorb more and more more and more of the Bitcoin supply. And what people don't realize is once BlackRock has these Bitcoins, they're not looking to day trade these Bitcoins. They're going to be holding them locked up in their vaults for the foreseeable future. And that's a massive supply shock for crypto. This is a positive headline. Bitcoin ETFs have been approved for advertising on Google. In the past, crypto advertising has been banned off platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Google, which it's pathetic on YouTube. You know, I'm sure if you're watching this video, shoot, it might even be the pre-rollout on this video. Those fake Brad Garlinghouse advertisements saying if you send your XRP, this person will double it and send it back. No one is ever going to double your money. It's one of the silliest scams in the world, but people fall for it. So it's good to see that these big companies are warming up to crypto. And it took BlackRock for Google to make a change, but now you can advertise And the situation in Iran is heating up. If you guys didn't see the news, I guess a few U.S. soldiers were killed in Iran. And now you have these neocons calling for war in Iran. Lindsey Graham says, hit Iran now, hit them hard. It's absolutely sad. I don't think there's going to be a World War III, but this conflict just keeps heating up. And a good tweet here from Chad. Chris Dixon of Andreessen Horowitz on This Morning, and he's talking about crypto having utility and about tokenizing assets. I talked a lot about real-world asset tokenization on blockchains, specifically on the XRP ledger. Andreessen Horowitz is a really large venture capital firm, and they target the Web3 space. They invest in a ton of blockchain companies, and I'll play you that clip from him on CNBC. He says, crypto has been a technology that's controversial. I think any institutional acceptance like the ETF is a good thing. I view blockchains as an expansive technology. The financial part is important, but I think in a lot of ways it has been overplayed. Really quick, guys, before I play this clip, if you need a spot to get crypto, check out Uphold in the video description below. Terms and conditions apply, but there is a $200 bonus if you're a first-time user on Uphold. And if you want $41 for free to get some more crypto, sign up with Webull, deposit a penny, and you're guaranteed $41 in free stocks. Sell your stocks, close your account, do whatever you want with that $41. But also check out Webull in the video description below. So now take a listen to Chris Dixon from Andreessen Horowitz.
Million questions I have, and I want to get to the book and talk about the book. But before we hit the book, I just want to understand. I think we're all trying to understand what's just happened with the SEC and this Bitcoin ETF. Yeah. And what it means, not just for Bitcoin, but potentially for the Solanas of the world and everything else.
Yeah. So, I think crypto has been a technology that's controversial, and I think any institutional acceptance like the ETF is a good thing, is a net positive. That said, I'm very focused on, and our firm is very focused on investing in entrepreneurs building new utilities, new applications that are used by hundreds of millions and eventually billions of people. So let's focus on financial instruments. But I think it's a net positive.
Say, you separate the idea of crypto money crypto, versus like utility crypto, if you will.
Yeah.
And how much of a future you think money crypto really has?
Well, I think payments, DeFi, Bitcoin, these are all important applications. I view blockchains as an expansive technology. It's a new way to build internet services. Those services can be games, they can be social networks, they can be financial services. And so the financial part is important, but I think in a lot of ways it's been overplayed in the discussions. And so one of the things I try to do in my book is describe all of the different expansive use cases for the technology.
So Solana is one of those that actually has a big use case. It's like Ethereum.
Yeah.
A, I'm curious if you think that turns into its own ETF, but B, where you think it really goes.
Yeah, I mean, the specific ETFs, I think that'll play out for a long time. I think there's some discussion of the Ethereum ETF. I mean, I think this technology is inevitable. I think this is the future of the internet. So I think over time you will see greater and greater acceptance of ETFs and other kinds of financial instruments. So, But I think that will take time, and our focus is on investing in early stage entrepreneurs, and we see a lot of innovation.
ETF would never be something you'd look at. It's too far down the road.
For us, no, yeah, we're generally early stage investors, and so we're really looking. We're meeting with entrepreneurs. They have a lot of really interesting ideas. We think this is a really interesting new technology for building new internet services, and so that's kind of our focus. But
can I ask you, talking about investing in early entrepreneurs and different ideas that are coming out of crypto. Mm-hmm. One big idea, or seemed like a big idea, was NFTs. Mm-hmm. You own OpenSea.
Yeah.
There, it was the hottest thing in the world. Everybody wanted to get themselves a chimp, a monkey, if you remember. And now nobody wants a chimp or a monkey. Maybe you think that they do. What happens to that? This idea of tokenizing art?
Yeah. Well, I think that's been the sort of death of NFTs has been exaggerated. So last year there were $8.7 billion, 2023, $8.7 billion in sales of NFTs. And remember, this is a technology that was standardized and basically invented in 2020. So it's a very early technology. And I think like a lot of technologies, you go through these kind of boom bust cycles. And the other thing.
So now he goes into an NFT spiel, and I'm not a big fan of NFTs, so I'll move on from that. But the real adoption in crypto, or not the main thing, but I think a big vertical in crypto is going to be real world assets tokenized on blockchains, and I think we're going to see that a lot more going into 2024 and 2025. I want to play this clip here with a guy named Stephen Thomas, and this is David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, on stage as well. And he makes a really good analogy. He says, I like to compare Ripple to Cisco, one of those big .com companies that actually saw a lot of massive success because they didn't need to own TCP/IP. We want XRP to be the best asset for routing money.
That kind of lock-in.
I often like to compare Ripple to Cisco because Cisco, they didn't need to own TCP/IP. They didn't need to make it proprietary. They benefited plenty by being the best vendor for sort of enterprise-grade routers. And so what we want to be is like the best vendor for enterprise-grade routers for money. And we want XRP to be the best asset for routing money. And so at the height of the internet boom, actually became the largest company in the world by market cap, just to give you an idea of how big that of an opportunity that could be. And so for us, that's plenty big. And in fact, if we didn't pursue this kind of strategy, if we pursued a strategy like, let's say the Bitcoin maximalists, where you're trying to get everyone to use your particular currency and your thing, then the risk that you're taking is that some other interoperability solution does come out, and then other people are optimizing their solutions for that world, and you have missed the boat. And so we think it's very important to build for like an interoperable future where there is a lot of competition, because that's driving us to have very high efficiency and very good user experience and so on.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Take care, and until next time.